It was either late 72 or early 1973, Strat Shannon. Who had a Shannon Insurance Agency, introduced me to the club and been a member ever since.
I'm going to guess that it was about in 1978, and some friends of mine, Steve Conrad and Gary Clote, were in it, and so you know, I think that they probably were the people that got me in the most. I actually went to some bars downtown, like the Downtowner and Nick's, and they were full of boat club people. I mean, they just, you know, so I met a lot of them and just, you know, just decided to join at that point.
When I was employed with the Sand and Gravel in the late 80s, we were, Benton Sand and Gravel did work for the boat club. We did not charge, donated to them. And members down there who were friends with Bob Benton actually ended up giving Bob Benton, John Benton, Chuck Benton, and I lifetime memberships for the donations and work we had provided for them.
So initially what happened was Scott Gleason had a motorcycle accident. He had came across around Main Street, and a lot of members will remember this, older members, and he actually ran into a wrecker that was parked there. At the time, Dad and Lon, good friends, Scott's dad, and Dad was pretty upset about the motorcycle accident, etc. So what happened was Lon told Dad he was selling his boat, and Dad made a deal with us kids that he would buy a boat as long as we never got on a motorcycle. So he bought Lon's old boat. Lon was getting a new one, so we got a 17.5-foot open bow Lund, and actually, besides getting the boat, which came already pre-dented, we had a slip, and we also, Bob Bancroft, who was one of the founders of the club, he worked on motors. He was kind of a motorhead at the time. So over the winter, we bought the boat in the spring, or in the fall. And over the winter, Bob helped Dad, and Dad completely rebuilt a 100 horsepower Mercury motor, an old one. I think it was like a 60s motor. And it had a shield that locked in, and the following summer we boated. We went down there every Saturday, went down during the week. We'd go up the river. Sometimes the shield would fall off. I would take friends from high school, drive down there after school. We'd ski up and down the river. actually had the motor catch on fire and we paddled over with our skis. But we grew up there. I mean, I never knew I was a river rat until later on, but we really enjoyed it. And that was kind of the start. That was a real family thing, probably the most family thing we did.
Would have been about, I think, 2000. And Bruce Peterson from, that owns the pump house, was a member, and he told me, at that time the docks were all owned, and he told me of a guy that he knew that had a dock he wasn't using, and maybe we could figure out a way to share a boat in there.
Well, my good friend Dave Krejci, him and I have been friends since we were in 7th grade, and him and Joni were members, and he told me what a great time it was. And of course, I had to explain to him, like, I don't own a boat, I joined a boat club, and he said, most of the people here don't have a boat. It's more of a social thing, so come on down and have some fun.
Jimmy Toad Snodgrass, nicknamed Toad, got me interested and asked for us to join, come to the events, come in and see what it's all about. And I thank Toad for that, because it's been a wonderful experience meeting the members and families that I've enjoyed through the years.
96, my father-in-law bought us membership for wedding anniversary or wedding gift.
I think I first joined the boat club in 1990, 90 something. Al Heth got me interested in joining the boat club.
I joined the boat club at about 2005. My mom was a Commodore right around that time, Roxanne Stone, so she had mentioned it to me, and I came to a potluck, and that's kind of where I started.
I appreciated all the support of my board members and just being a part of a group of people working towards a common goal.
The people.
You have some power, you don't have a ton of power. I wasn't into that, but everybody shows you a lot of respect. That was fun. And you get to be very involved in everything that's going on with the boat club.
I don't know. I'd grown up with a lot of the people that were in the club, as well as made a lot of friends, or had just friends that were members as well. We always had the mutual appreciation for just going down, relaxing by the river, having the camaraderie of people. But one of my biggest things was our board at the time was everybody that I knew, so we all were in it together. It wasn't like anybody was new or had their own agenda.
Oh, just giving back to the club, because I had so much fun, and wanted to give back to the club and all the fun people that I met.
Camaraderie and getting together with the fellows, and then once a month we did have the potluck where couples would be together, but yeah, it was a social gathering.
Just a camaraderie with all the boat members.
Probably my wife doing the potluck speeches. Martha did most of those. I didn't have to worry about it.
Best part is getting to represent an awesome group of people to work with. You're basically known as like that club that's fun and just goes out and tries to have a good time and show other people how to do the same.
Probably just trying to move the club forward without the building.
I don't know if I enjoyed any of it.
when Grover asked me to be his vice, I reluctantly agreed, but I said I will do it as long as I don't have to deal with the city on any issues. Well, we all know where that ended up.
Foreshadowing, I think.
The year that I was Commodore was the year that we were supposed to get everything in order, all the finances were coming in, and that was going to be the year that they were going to start construction. And of course, we ran into some delays and some problems, and so it never happened the year I was Commodore. But that was probably, the most challenging, but also the most rewarding, was just trying to, going through the, all of the necessary details of trying to get that thing built.
Hard work from the previous Commodores when times were tough, and we together worked very, very hard with members. Of course, you can't do anything without our loyal members to get the Island Park Beach House rebuilt. That was, I'd say the icing on the cake for me to see it completed, even though it took a long time. But I was very satisfied knowing that we brought something historical back to the Cedar Falls community, and I've been thanked by people that have never been members that they appreciated the hard work that it took for us.
I think being there to help push on getting the building done, we had so much opposition, and that was probably the biggest reason I said yes to her, because we were already into it for about 3 years at the time. I guess what I was thinking was when I committed to it that we were going to have a building when I finally got around to being that, but that didn't work out.
Because we'd all been going to the same meetings, been involved in the same conversations. Meetings with the city, with the park department, with different people. Somebody figured we'd had 30 meetings within the first year and a half of the beach house going down. It was just crazy.
Dealing with the city and negotiating through that process.
We had some trouble with the water and the building and the city. Lots of trouble with the city.
Trying to build a boat club, unfortunately.
And thank God somebody at a bank said, we will lend you the money without any collateral because we're doing what we think is right, and it's like, oh my God, so that was kind of crazy.
It wasn't just totally focused on the building. I think my biggest focus when I was Commodore, that kind of filled more space than even keeping the building going, because that kind of ran itself in a sense, was to try to keep membership up when we had nothing really to offer. We had some docks, but there's only 28 docks, and there was 250 family memberships at the time. Mm-hmm. So we had already done some Rock the Docks events, like one at the end of the year, middle of the year, something like that. So I decided to start putting multiple Rock the Docks events together to give them something to to hang their hat on. So there was actually something that made it worthwhile to be a member.
So I happened to be the guy that was Commodore when I cut the ribbon. That was pretty neat. So the new building was officially open for public use, and that'd be the best part.
Initiate flag raising ceremony. I, Kerry Schmidt, promise to do my duty to God and my river, to obey all seafaring codes, protect nature and cuddle in my arms like it was my only child, to love water, H2O, and for which our vessels sail.
For crying out loud, some of us are trying to sleep here.
And you may ask yourself, how do I work this? And you may ask yourself, where is that large automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was, 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 same as it ever was. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground.
Yeah, probably for most of my time in the club, I've been involved in some way, shape, or form with the Fireman's Dance every year. We had some years where we couldn't have it because of flooding. We had some years where we had to move it around because we didn't have a building. But the 2016 year, when we got the building done and we were able to bring everybody back down to the park and bring everybody back down to the original site where we had the original Fireman's Dance, 40 some years ago. It was a great turnout, great night. I was just very happy to be a part of putting that on.
Sturgis Falls event, which back then was it was a pretty big event right there at the clubhouse.
Oh, definitely. Firefighters dance. Really enjoyed that.
No, we just we kept the Fireman's Dance going, and we also had the members could be out on the docks, which was went on for quite a while, which was also a lot of fun. And other than that, just building docks was the major concern.
The scholarship thing I started. That was something I was excited about, and thank God it's improved. We got more qualified people on that committee that know what to look for now. We were making copies of those scholarships. We'd get like 35 scholarships, and I'd make copies of them all, and we all had to read all 35 of them, and oh my God, a lot of good people, a lot of good kids sending them in, and it was fun finally arriving at the maybe one or two out of that 35 people. So that was exciting. I forgot about that, but
I think one of the events that we worked hard on, there is a lady who has a handicapped child, and we had basketball hoops, and this was even after '08 flood that were down there. And every day she took him down there to get exercise. And when that was all said and done, that a handicapped person would go down there and there were no basketball courts. And we pushed hard to go buy one, and there were some members, we don't need one, and it's like, yeah, we do. I mean, just something, little things like that.
I helped out with the flotilla a little bit, and I was not able to help out with the winter party this year, but helped out last year.
You know what I enjoy doing? I enjoy the bands, and we bring the bands in for Sturgis and helping to set up and tear that stuff down and getting involved with that. And putting the docks in and out, I like doing that, enjoying putting the docks in and out. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, as Commodore you always do. I was always more proud of the fact when I was Vice Commodore that I brought back the VC hour or Vice Commodore hour. And I also felt that we should make it more family oriented, so it wasn't just go down, sit and drink a few beers, it was have food a lot of companionship with or fellowship with the other boat club members, but a fun place you can bring your kids, feed them some free food.
Well, come aboard. I'm former Commodore Lango, but once a Commodore, always a Commodore. People are always wondering what we do all day as Commodores, so I hope this clears it up. I start my day around 9 a.m. It's a busy schedule, but you know, some people have to do it. Cheers. Well, let's see, we do a lot of problem solving. Look, it's flooded. No, there's not a damn thing we can do about it. No, oh, that's a horrible idea. We run meetings, we attend meetings, we think about attending meetings. We do a lot of boat research. Google's our friend. Would have known beforehand, had planned it out. Also, I'm personally big into charities and philanthropy. Also, my family has strong ties to John Barry, the father of the U.S. Navy. Also, Lionel Richie, now that I think about it. Oh, that was horrible. I don't know about you, but I see a lot of nautical themes in this picture. Lots of sophisticated people hang out over here. Some people play pool, we play billiards.
When are you gonna fold these clothes?
Hey, I'll get to it. And remember, I didn't see the salute. Your middle finger is not the proper salute. Hey, have you heard about the Bluetooth iceberg? Any ship that goes near it will sink. Oh, okay, how about this one? How do you make luxury yacht tours look younger? Botox.
Okay, no more jokes.
I like to get out and drive around town and see my people. Hey, Fred!
Well, we were always horsing around. I guess one time we were all down there. Don Franson, he was a member, and he always liked to joke around. And a bunch of us there one Saturday, during the week anyway, we were doing a bunch of stuff on the building. We were always working on that building. And we had a wash tub there. We told Franny. Franny was kind of a cheapskate too. So I bet Franny, I said, I bet you can't go from one end of the docks down to the next end of the docks in this wash tub. And I'll bet you we all go to Toad's, and whoever loses buys us dinner. Well, Franny stripped down to his underwear. He got into the wash tub, and he got down about halfway. And I said, Franny, and I threw him a beer. He reached out to get it, and he went overboard. So he had to buy dinner, and he wasn't very happy about it. He was never happy about spending money, but... You know, Eric, some of my best times were, being we didn't have a beach house, was meeting off-site, and those memories I'll cherish, getting to know the board and the members. We had to hold them in people's houses. We had them at the Eagles Club. But my favorite place, of course, was Charlie's place, and that's Charlie Thurston out off of Union Road, and the laughter and the the love that we got from each other's friends to get something that we all very strongly felt that we needed to do is get that thing rebuilt.
Well, a lot of fun times. I know that there was a few flotillas that maybe might have got out of hand a little bit, but that was kind of normal, and so it was just a lot of fun with a lot of good friends.
Well, the Ferris wheel was the big attraction because it showed off Cedar Falls. They had something at night, and they had it after Labor Day. It was kind of gone, but up until Memorial Day to Labor Day, they had, and it cost about a dime or so to get on the Ferris wheel. And there was a band instructor my wife had in high school was running the Ferris wheel, and they had something else, but I remember the Ferris wheel.
That was about 65 when that happened.
Raleigh? I don't know. Not much, just party till you drop, I guess. That's about it.
I really don't remember any continuing advice, but we all worked together down there always, so.
The docks got all smashed on the other side of the river, and we had to get I made a raft that had a crane on it, and we took that across to get the docks off the bottom of the river. And so on the way back, everybody was down at the boat club, and I was floating down with my raft, and the sirens all went off in town, and fire trucks and ambulances and police were coming across the bridge, and I was floated down, and I get my rig that I had made for a crane. I got that into the shore and got it into the boat slip to get it out of the water, and my wife's yelling at me, "You got to get it out of here, the cops are here, you got to get it out of here." And I'm like, "I can't, it's stuck in here." And so then all the cops came down there, and they thought I was going over the dam. I thought it was out of control. So that was one of the funny things.
So I'd been at the meetings, I kind of saw how they were run, going clear back to whenever, and so I had a pretty good idea what went on, and what I would focus on. The main thing I think that I picked up from it is, after being around different Commodores, was when you have meetings, try to keep them sober and get through them quickly.
Probably interesting is when we stained and varnished or sealed the floors, it was all hands on deck. There was Neil Schatz was there. I'm trying to think who all was working on it, but it was everybody came and worked on it, and everybody worked on the building. That was kind of the year that we kind of cleaned up the building. And then the unfortunate part is after the flood, when everything floated away, it was really sad. But I don't know. When I was Commodore, my kids were little. I think we added the fence pretty close to that, just because we had 11 little ones that were members, and we wanted to kind of contain them, protect them, as well as liabilities. Funny stuff probably would be the flotillas. Those were the best days, just going up the river and floating back down.
Singing the boat club songs at the beach house potlucks, because a lot of people had a hard time remembering the words, maybe had never heard the songs. That was probably, and then something else, Raleigh Holford started something, and I can't remember, I don't know if I was Commodore or not then, but nude swims at 5 o'clock. We'd been drinking all afternoon, we'd get out in the water, take our swimming suit, twirl it around, be neck high in the water. And we'd just kind of kid each other, and not too many would go out, but depending on how much you had to drink.
There was a lot of years there after the old beach house got swept away, and there was these Commodores from 2008 to where I became a Commodore. they really worked to get that building back up, and there was a lot of battles, a lot of fights. I always kind of felt like the president that came in right after the war.
Being a Commodore of the North Shore Boat Club, it's an honor, it's a privilege. It's not as much work as some people will tell you that it is. It's fun. You get to know people, you get to meet people, you get to meet them on a new level. I've been on national committees, I've been on state committees, I've been on multiple non-profit boards. My favorite by far is being part of the North Shore Boat Club.
And you know, I live on the river. My wife and I love it out here, and whenever we can help anybody, you know, take the docks in and out, I'm usually the last boat in to put the docks upriver, and I'm usually the first pontoon boat on the river. So I feel blessed that I'm a neighbor to the beach house and all the members, and you're always able to help.
I'm sailing away, set an open course for the virgin sea, 'cause I've got to be free, free to face a life that's ahead of me. On board, I'm the captain, so climb aboard. We'll search for tomorrow on every shore, and I'll try, oh Lord, I'll try to carry on. Reflections in the waves spark my memory. Some happy, some sad. I think of childhood friends and the dreams we had. We lived happily forever, so the story goes. But somehow we missed out on the pot of gold. But we'll try best that we can to carry on. Gathering of angels appeared above my head.
also given the key to the city. I don't know what it opens, but God, they love us.
In your opinion, what was the hardest part about being Commodore?
The hardest part about being Commodore? Keeping Joe Mercurio under control.
He said to watch out for Joe Mercurio.
Definitely dealing with Joe Mercurio.
Joe Mercurio.
Joe Mercurio.
Joe Mercurio.
Definitely Joe Mercurio.
Boy, glad I didn't have to deal with Joe Mercurio.
But the thing about Joe, you gotta keep that man on a tight leash.
Do you know the the Bow Club song?
I don't. That wasn't on my prep sheet.
Surprise.
Are we done yet? My beer's gone. God.